Yeah, but whatever you want, like whatever you want my opinion on, I will be more than glad to give.
I'm main Lee Sin and Warwick, and I think my main problem is that I really fall behind in farm, and in the mid game, I'm getting like whooped even if I had.
Even if you what had a lot of kills.
Yeah, I never feed, but it seems like I have a hard time like 1v9ing, you know?
Hmm.
I'm really like team dependent.
All right, let's pause the game real quick before I get into it. Just because this is something that I do every game. Something like if you've watched a lot of YouTube content creators,
Hmm.
whenever the teams have been selected, and you're in and you're in like the load screen, you should be thinking about what your game plan is going to be.
Yeah,
Do you do
I
that?
agree. I
So
try to.
a good example is like we pretty much want to consider a few things. One is like which one of your lanes has gank potential and which ones don't.
Hmm.
All right. So I guess like your top I guess your top laner is the Vladimir.
Yeah.
And presumably he's up against like a Malphite. So ganking for Vladimir can be done, but he doesn't have any crowd control of his own. So another thing is Vladimir's most likely gonna have the shove on Malphite because that's
That is exactly the situation. Malphite was under tower at first.
okay. So in my mind, I would say, all right. I know that there's no chance that I'll be able to gank top lane. Then you want to do this kind of analysis for every single lane, right? So
Hmm.
I won't do it for you exactly this game, but just judging by both of your bot lanes, you definitely have some really good gank potential on bot lane, right? Because you got the
Yeah.
bard stun slash snare. Brand has no escape. Caitlyn, I mean, she has the net, but it's not amazing. So it's just something to consider. Like maybe you want to path from top to bot, or so that's
I
cause,
started red here because I thought I was gonna catch Trundle, and that did end up working out. Trundle wasn't a huge threat. It ended up being this Malphite built Triforce and just whooped Ezreal all
yeah.
game.
So that's the thing though. Is like starting red's always good because like starting your red buff will obviously give you the most amount of threat over the scuttle crab. And I wasn't necessarily suggesting that you definitely start at blue. It was just something to consider because like I play really early game aggressive champions like Udyr. So like
Yeah.
for me, it's like when I see I have a Vladimir top lane against a Malphite, and I know my Vladimir is going to be shoving Malphite to turret. That's perfect. I'll start red and I'll just invade like level 2, and I know that my top laner has my back. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm just kind of do like this pregame analysis. Where can I gank? Who's going to have my back if I invade? Do I want to pass to like fight the enemy jungler? Do I not? So on.
Hmm.
So all right, let's watch. Yeah, let's watch.
I'll skip up to action starts because I think nothing much happens except this bard goes for a cheeky little blue steal, but he doesn't get it.
Yeah. So you're standing here because you just want to protect your blue buff.
Yeah, I just watch blue buff. I find like those middle bushes rarely get checked, so I just kind of sit in one. Do you want me to do directed camera or should I put it on my character?
Um, we'll watch. We'll just watch you. I mean, if there's something that like needs to be pointed out, we can always rewind or stop and just look at like the map state and stuff like that. So
Okay.
sorry.
How's the audio? Can you hear the game sounds pretty loud?
I don't really hear the game sounds, but that's not important. So
Okay.
I can hear you very well. That's more
Okay.
important. It was good that your bard got a lot of damage onto the trundle. That actually makes like your job fighting over scuttle and stuff easier. In some
Yeah,
situations.
you're right. It might have made this invade as successful as it was,
Yeah.
even though Echo totally saw me. My pathing was bad there.
But, so yeah, we should be watching. Yeah, let's. Can we go back? Go back like 30 seconds, whatever it is, because I want to see.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to see anything that happened there. So you ended up crossing. Okay. Yeah. So Echo did see you. Okay. So they knew. I put it on yourself so we can watch you, or at least
They
yeah.
knew, but I still just ran it up.
He. Okay. So very clearly this dude. Oh my. Oh my god. All right, nice, nice. Oh my. Wow. Okay. So clearly, so it's very funny because like very clearly, Trundle had no idea you were coming, which is quite surprising. It's pretty. That's pretty hilarious. And then it was even a horrible. It was such a horrible flash. But yeah, that was good. All right, cool.
Just like he said, this guy's under turret.
Yeah. All right. So look mid lane. Look mid lane. Look mid lane. Yeah. He'll go. Yeah. Put the camera view onto yourself. That way we'll always know what you're doing, and then we'll switch camera if we need.
This gank is pretty awkward, but it works out.
Yeah, there's probably ways you could have played it better. So if you want to like watch it again, we could, but it worked out. So it's up to you. Did you pause there because you were thinking about ganking the mid lane again after the TP, or?
I don't know exactly what's happening there. Something does something in my room.
Okay. So that was good. A lot of these people I've been watching, they're like silvers or yeah, like pretty much been silver most for the most part, and they like never hit the vision cone, so it was good because you like saved your top laner.
The highest I've gotten was I played a long time ago. I took a long break. I got to plat 1 in like season 3.
Hmm. Mm. I guess that was just a real. You know what, let's watch it again. Let's watch it again. Watch it again.
Yeah, that was a little awkward.
Yeah, put it on yourself, or we should at least 3 minutes. Go back like 30 seconds. Yeah, jump back there. That's good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Here's what I think you should have
Think I
done.
should have gone for that?
Here's what I think you should have done better. No, it was a good gank, but here's what I think you could have done. Go back 15 seconds again, one more time,
Okay.
and then let's make sure we're looking mid. So I think pause right here. This is when you should have W'd onto the bard right now.
What was that?
This is when you should have W'd onto the Braum, like right now, or the bard. Sorry. See if you
Yeah.
W to bard right now, and then you walk to the right, like so you're gonna stand between him and his turret.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's how you could have played this better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at all this wasted time. Yeah, you probably would have killed him
Hmm.
because he was like 2 auto attacks away from death there probably.
Exactly.
Okay. Next time.
I think definitely my fallbacks in my mechanics, like even in all of my champs, I just don't have I don't care.
Yeah. Sometimes it can come down to mechanics. Lee Sin, is obviously very difficult. Like it's kind of hard to have the presence of mind in these kind of scenarios to like think about these kinds of things. So that's why like watching gameplay is like so important. Like even if it's just like a lot of times when I'm playing, like even if I win the game, like but if a kill got away from me that maybe I could have gotten, I'll just fast forward to that part of the replay, watch it again, just be like, oh okay, I should have done this. Because like League is
The replay feature is awesome. This is one of the best thing that they added to the game.
Yeah, League is mostly a game of experience and then like not in knowledge. So it's just like once you've been in these situations enough time, you just kind of know. Like
Hmm.
it's like when you mainly sin long enough, you know exactly who you can beat and who you can't beat 1v1 and
Hmm.
so
1
on.
second. These things are kind of overpowering your voice.
Okay, I was kind of mindlessly ranting, but basically my advice for you is like if ever a kill gets away from me that seems pretty close, just watch it again and you could probably figure
Yeah.
out if you could have done better, like we just watched.
For
Okay.
like a game-changing mistake later down on bot, I'd give a couple kills this brand because I didn't flash early enough, and that was a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say it was a good dragon call, but I just want to I just want to say like one caveat is like in a lot of games going for an early dragon's not worth it because it'll put you behind further.
Hmm.
Just because it takes a long time to take the dragons, but like you're obviously like two reasons. One is you're already really far ahead in this game, and the enemy bot lane was gone, so it's not like you could have like really done much around the map. So, but like the way you could have obviously like if you weren't taking the dragon, you would have backed and cleared your camps faster. So if you're like an even game or like the other jungler's doing pretty well, you don't want to put yourself behind by like spending the time to do a win dragon because like the snowball of like you falling behind like a level behind the enemy jungler and also like him knowing that you're taking like that you just took dragon, he'll probably take your top side camps if he's a good jungler. So it could potentially set you up like while it's cool that you took the dragon, it's like it could potentially set you up for some disaster. But like obviously this
Yeah, because my problem is the farm. I don't have no farm. I've never cleared the jung in this game.
yeah, so in this instance, like I said, this dragon was fine. There's not much else to do. You're already ahead. But this could be maybe this is a problem for you in other games where like you feel forced to take early dragons and you do it, but like in the meanwhile, the other guy's just like power farming. And then you like notice, oh, I'm behind this jungler. You're like how? Yeah. So just let's go back. Let's go back because it was really bad that you guys lost the bottom turret. So and I wasn't paying attention because I should have had you pause. Let's go back because we need to figure out. So this is before we play it back. But let's keep rewind it again because how did so you took the dragon and then you
I
backed
took
and then
dragon
you
and I
backed.
backed.
So you back. All right. So let's look bot lane. Pause it and look. All right. Pause right here. So I just want to say two things here, maybe three things. The first is the like there's some crazy statistic that like the team that takes the first turret is like 64% more likely to win or something like that. Like I don't know the exact number, but it's definitely true that the first turret helps you win. This is kind of a reason why um, this is kind of a reason why taking an early dragon isn't always good, right? Like, because no one on your team actually died in this situation, right? So the bard, like, I guess he's like collecting his chimes or whatever it is that he's doing. For whatever reason didn't go back to lane. This is not entire. This is like not really your fault per se. You obviously couldn't have gone to bot lane to cover because you were really low health. But like Bard should have like he should have came to the bot side immediately because like them getting first turret is actually better than you getting the wind dragon.
Of course, wind dragon is kind of lame.
Yeah, so losing this bottom turret, like that's the thing. It's like if you guys hadn't done dragon, then your bot lane could have backed, right? And then they would have been full health, and then they could have gone back to lane to match the other team coming back. So that's just something like that's. It was unfortunate because like your bard was like doing whatever, but that's just something to consider here. Um,
Yeah.
and then to that point, on like a counter side, because this is what I tell a lot of people, because like a common question I get is like, what do I do when like all my lanes are losing, or what do I do when my team's down like 10 kills? Like,
Hmm.
as if all the turrets are still up, the best way for you to win a game when your team is behind is to pick the lane that's most likely to succeed and take that first turret. So
Hmm.
if your top laner's doing well, like your let's say your Vladimir has like a kill on the Malphite, or even if he has no kills at all, but at least Vladimir has poked down this Malphite. Like if he has no teleport, you just dive him and then just take his turret. Because what ends up happening is it opens up the map for your team. Your Vladimir is no longer obligated to stay top lane. Malphite has like really shitty pushing anyway, so this guy can like just go push waves really slowly. So your Vladimir can put pressure on mid. You'll gain control over their top side jungle, so like you can start looking for picks. It's like Malphite's rotating and like and in solo queue especially at all like even in Diamond Elo, like just taking the first turret, it just creates so much control for your team. It can create a lot of chaos and just bring your team right back into the game. So
Okay.
anyway,
That's smart because I think at this point I was not really thinking about my towers. At this point, I'm still thinking like, oh, I need to farm. So I think my first move is to go to Krugs here.
yeah, that's like 'cause you couldn't save this bottom turret. Like that's just what I'm saying about doing like a really early dragon. Like it doesn't always pay off. Like I said, like you as the jungler in this situation are fine. You had like 2 kills and assist or whatever it was, and you're sending on a lot of gold. And but like it was just like see if your bot lane could have just like rotated back to bot lane after doing the dragon, it wouldn't have been a problem. But also you need to consider this, right? Is let's say your bot lane did just go like your bard just immediately went to bot lane to hold this tower. The thing is your bot lane, since they helped you do the dragon and didn't back, they're at an item disadvantage to the enemy bot lane. So eventually they're gonna have to back and they're gonna so like it's like yeah. So again, so evidently in this situation, the dragon was not the good call.
Okay.
So,
I respect that. I think that's true too.
yeah. All right. So let's keep going. Okay. Yeah. He derped super hard. Um, this was the so yeah, this thing. That was a bot lane mistake. There was nothing to do about that. Bot lane obviously Bard shouldn't have ran in there. Even if Bard didn't do that stupid play, they shouldn't have fought because their enemy bot lane was at an item advantage. So it's just overall just terrible. Unfortunate.
I go down there thinking if I can kill one of them, then I'll be able to repel them, but Brand dodges my Q.
Yeah. So yeah, and you already know this because you just said it, but you wasted your time doing that. And every second as a jungler is huge because you could have already done like you probably would have cleared two camps by this point. And now you're going around for the gank. Maybe this works out. Let's see. Oof.
This is where I totally messed up. If I had flashed here for my auto attacks, I could have killed Brand, but I waited too long and Brand got away and they killed both of us.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, so in my mind, this is pretty much the point in the game where you lost. Mm.
This is definitely where I was like, it's gotten from the point where we were ahead, I was ahead enough to carry to these guys are ahead enough to carry.
Yeah, but now you can clearly see because like you're like what? Let's just pause the game just so we can check levels, right? Just pause. What's your level? Here, let's do two things. One, and what level Strundle?
He's still level 4 too. I don't know what he's been doing.
Okay, press tab. Press tab. I just want to see his CS 26 to 18. Okay, interesting. All right, let's keep watching. Put the camera on yourself to keep watching.
I was trying to put the camera on myself, but it seems like it's not.
Switch to something else first, and then put it. Yeah, there you go. It's like glitchy like that. If you put it on yourself, and then you roam your camera somewhere else, you have to like click to something. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. The funny thing is, this Trundle was like evidently really not good because we saw in the beginning of the game already how bad he was. But like your whole entire top jungle right now should be gone. He should have taken that whole thing.
Yeah, he hasn't really been doing much.
Yeah.
Even later in the game, he doesn't.
If this was like Diamond, this Trundle would be easily like level 6. This dude would have like 40 CS and just be like ready to dump on your team.
Oh no.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's actually a pretty good thing that you came mid here to do this because like we just talked about, turrets are so important. So you're really opening up the map for your team. So hopefully this doesn't turn disastrous.
I think this one does work out.
Okay. Looks even if someone dies here, it's fine. Okay. Flash. Nice. Yeah, that was good. That was really important. Yeah, Ezreal probably should have rotated here because I'm okay. Now it's good. They're not pushing mid. If the enemy team was thinking they should have just stayed and pushed mid.
I think so. Bard and me couldn't have defended it against all 4 of them.
Yeah, but they didn't, which is good. Worked out for you. This is like a good game to watch because of how fast the game was moving, but like without either team really snowballing.
Yeah, this ends up going on for a little while. I think it's like a 35-minute game.
Yeah, I can see that already.
And it's pretty close until like the last 5 minutes.
Okay, that was a pretty good kick. Bard totally fucked that.
If I got him out of the thing, then I wouldn't get stunned. And then I'm out of Q range, but they get him anyway.
Yeah, it was a decent kick. Bard he just missed. Bard probably shouldn't have used his ultimate. Bard probably should just hit him with the skill shot. It's like Bard, but I mean, again, these things are out of your control because like that Bard just doesn't have the mechanics for Bard. Okay.
It feels good to hear that because the whole time we're playing, Ez is saying, "Why is Bard not at bot? You know, why is Bard always gone?" And it's good to hear that maybe Israel wasn't wrong.
Yeah, well, Bard has to roam to get his chimes and all that stuff, but just like understanding it like that, it's like because like it's like oh he could use his ult to stasis him, but if he just like moved himself between Lee Sin and the not Lee Sin but Echo and the wall, which obviously he could have because like he was in the hit stun of your kick, then he could just use his Q to hit Echo, and then if like I don't if you do you probably don't know this or maybe you do, but if like Bard's Q hits somebody and then hits a wall, it stuns instead of slows. So he could have gotten he could so he could have gotten the stun there for free, but instead he uses ultimate for some reason.
I don't know if it was out or if it was on CD or something.
Yeah. What's going on top? Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on real quick. Let's just look.
All right, you want to go back?
Yeah, we can go. Let's go back. Let's go back. Yeah, let's say 15 seconds from now. Maybe we'll go.
Ult Bard and then it's just a little bit of a wombo.
Yeah. So the real thing here is you have to. Okay. Let's pause the game and hit the arrow twice. Go back 30 seconds. Hit it twice. Go on. Yeah, hit it twice. Just hit play, I guess, or yeah, hit one more time. Hit one more time, and then we'll pause.
Okay.
Yeah, pause here. So, all right. You have to think like what so what you need to think about. So this is like a couple things. Like this is kind of like a situation where it's hard exactly to know what to do. So like communicating is really important here. Like like you know that there's two objectives right on the map. Like one's about to spawn the dragon, and the other one's Rift Herald. This is another piece of advice I've been giving a lot of people. Again, like you're definitely better than the silver players I've been helping, but a lot of times they just don't value the importance of the Rift Herald because like the Rift Herald is a game winner.
Yeah, Rift Herald can carry.
So what I've been telling these people, and this probably this might just be like one of those things when you hear it's like cool, it's in perspective. Like I have like a checklist of objectives that I want to do. Like I play a strong early game jungler like Udyr, Graves, like sometimes plays in. But anyway, like so my first goal is how can I out jungle the other guy? So either do I invade him and kill him, do I trap him and then like get a good gank off in a lane somewhere? So just like step one, build a small lead for my team. Step two, secure the first turret. Or if it's a mountain dragon or infernal dragon, we can just like get a good gank off and grab that because that's really good too. Step three, obviously the opposite of that. Step four, have your lanes rotate, assuming dragon's gone, and then look for a play on the Rift Herald, and then use the Rift Herald and go from there. That's like my step by step. Like that's what I'm looking to do, and like that's yeah, it's like this goes back to a lot of the videos I used to watch. Like before the big jungle changes, it was just like every jungler would just tell you so much about building the snowball. Basically camp the shit out of the bot lane, build your snowball. This is in my mind how I build the snowball. And if I do all these things for my team and I just play solid team fights, like we're gonna win the game. So the reason why I'm telling you this one is because like just perspective. Hopefully it's just like sounds good. But this is the part of the game where this is like really important. You need to figure out what you're going to prioritize, and the most important part of this game in this phase is communicating that to your team. So like if you wanted to make a play for the dragon, you should have like pinged. It's coming up in a minute. It's coming up this amount of time, and like you want to like make sure you're backing like with at least 30 seconds before it spawns, so you can like grab ping cord. Usually you want to do earlier than 30 seconds. I would really say a minute because if you do a minute, then you're going to get there before the enemy team, so you can like set up your vision. If your team comes with you and there's only like one or two people on the other team, they're going to get scared, so they don't like to test the vision. So obviously, like in this scenario, it's like it could be a little bit of unluck in that like your team will, as we know, will eventually initiate on a fight here, and it doesn't really work out for them. And I mean, we haven't quite seen it, but I'm assuming that after they like kill your team, they just take Rift Herald, right? And that's like again, this is a big momentum shifter for the enemy team. So if you like knew, that's the thing is like if you're like paying attention to the objectives and trying to like focus on one or the other and like communicating with your team, you can get them to direct their attentions around the map. Like right now we see like Bard in the top side of the map and Vladimir, right? So it's like two things. Like why would Bard go to the top side of the map right now? Like clearly he's going to pick up his chimes. I know that, but like if like but he has chimes all over the map. So like if you were like directing your team to go to Dragon, like he probably would have backed and then like headed towards the bot side of the map instead of the top side of the map. Yeah. So it's like it's hard watching from the replay to say that like you really like this probably you had better sense you personally probably had a better sense of it than me like watching a replay. But if you knew that there was like a high probability that there was a fight going to go down near a Rift Herald, then you probably should have been over there. And I understand that like you want to be farming and all that, but like unfortunately like you know you got to play around the team and the objectives. Yeah, exactly. So and before we start watching again, like obviously like once they start going on the rift, like grabbing the dragon is the right decision with like pretty much the cards you wrote though at the point that they fought. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a consolation prize though.
yeah, exactly. So that was just like food for thought, like going into this. So let's keep
Yeah, I
watching.
could sort of see this coming because we have Malphite under a ward and Irelia is running towards him.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, yeah. And we'll keep watching. But one thing I just want to say is like whenever you're a jungler and you know there's an action about to go down, especially around an objective, head over there. If you're at a camp that's like on the top side of the map and your top or mid's getting ganked, stop doing your camp, run over and help out. It's never worth it to do in the camp. Like unless it's very obvious you're not going to be able to do anything. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Let's go. Because you know the other thing is about the situation is you see that the enemy team's missing, right? Like you don't know where the Caitlyn is right now, and you don't know where their Trundle is, and their mid lane just walked to the top side. So you know at least three people are going, and the other two are missing. So this is likely to turn pretty sour. Yeah, which is fine. I mean, there wasn't much. Like pretty much once they started initiating, there was nothing. Like even if you'd showed up at this point, like there really was nothing you could do.
Yeah, it was my positioning in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And I think that just came down to like communicating with your team and like trying to predict what was going to happen, which can be hard to do. I mean, you know.
I'm surprised Irelia tried to 1v1 Malphite there.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, like, and I'm looks like you're doing this. Once someone gets the Rift Herald and the lane's pushing, you obviously need to be with your team in case they drop the Rift. You keep going ham. If I saw that I had an Aurelia and Vladimir on my team, I would be so happy.
Yeah, we had some OP champs.
Yeah.
And then like the masterful flashes here.
That looked really funny. Hit tab and hit X.
X?
Yeah, X. Yeah.
Oh, look, I didn't know about this. This is gold?
Yeah, this is gold.
Oh,
Okay.
so I got a little bit of advantage on this Trundle.
Yeah, you definitely do.
This was a bad one by me.
Oof. Yeah.
I wanted to put damage on Caitlyn to kill her, but Echo was there. I should have known that they were all alive.
Well, let's just pause for like 1 second because let me just ask you a question. What object by doing what you're doing, you wanted to get damage on Caitlyn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what you said. But like, what objective were you pushing where that damage was really going to matter?
I was hoping that we could keep pushing mid. Hoping we were going to take that tower.
So you and Ezreal were going to 2-man push down this turret.
At least put some damage on it. I was thinking hopefully.
But were you?
It was a little optimistic.
Yeah, were you aware of like the map state? Like, because Malphite had just pushed. So Malphite right after they did like the rift, he teleported bot lane so you could catch that wave. So he was. So if you were paying attention to the map, like as you were walking up mid, he had already pushed out the bot lane and then he went missing. So you know that he's walking up. So like you could have predicted that Malphite was going to come up if you had just watched the map.
Yeah, this was a bad play. I even had to use flash like just to do 500 damage to Caitlyn.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, to me, watching this replay, it was very apparent that like you weren't going to get any damage onto that turret, and yeah, you overextended yourself.
Especially just us two.
Yeah. Hmm. And they haven't dropped the Rift Shield yet, have they? Or did they drop it top lane? Yeah, so now like your 2 deaths could be like pretty catastrophic if whoever had the Rift dropped it right now. You would probably lose 2 turrets. Alright, Aurelia's going ham. That's why we like to have Aurelia. But she died. So now yeah. Yeah. It's a good thing that Trundle wasn't there to drop the Rift. That was yeah. Okay.
It looks bronze in retrospect, but it felt intense at the time.
It's not so bronze. Just this, I would just say like this Trundle is just very not talented at all. See how far he chased you? Like no team around. Like there was zero. Like you like if I was at Trundle, I'm like okay, at least I'm just gonna W2 ward whatever, and now it's turn around. But I guess I didn't register with him.
He wanted it. It was personal.
Yeah, apparently. Even though he's like not been interacting with you very much after you killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was good that your team was communicating with you and pinging you guys back. Communication is really important. I noticed that like with other people I've been helping, that a lot of them are like, "Oh, I didn't even think about that." Like, how do I do it? And I'm like, I tell them like, obviously like use the different types of pings, but if you're only gonna use one ping, just use the really loud, obnoxious warning one. Because if you do like the help one, people like won't respond. But if you spam ping them the danger on their lane, they're like, not only is it because you know it's like if you get spam ping, you know you're like, what do you want? Like yeah, that's the reaction you want out of your laners.
Uh-huh. I won't lie. I got out of silver. I hit mute all in the beginning of the game.
Oh yeah, I mute all a lot. I don't do it at the beginning of the game, but when I hear people start fighting, like even if it's like has nothing to do with me, but I like my bot lane's like this support's so bad and I just mute. All toxicity and tilting just gone. I don't even hesitate. If someone says something to me like, "Oh, like good flash, you dear," I'm like mute all. That's it. Done.
Those people are never gonna like start being like cooperative later.
Yeah. And you have no idea, man. Like obviously, like all the ranks, you got your flames. It gets there. D5 is the most toxic shit you've ever seen because everyone thinks they're so good. So this is Diamond 5. I'm not gonna hold your hand. How the hell did you climb here? It's just like shut up. All right, that was a pretty sweet kick.
I'm playing this champ for a long time.
Yeah.
At least I can say like back in my day, we didn't have raptors. We had ghosts.
Dude, I've been playing since season 2, so I've been around.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I remember. I was a top lane main though, pretty much up until this season. Like I was the top main. I was the top lane main with a jungle secondary, and then like this season, like I did all my placements as jungle Jarvan, and I was like, dude, what? Jungle's so much better than top. And I was into that.
I like it. It's more strategic, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Jungle, people can disagree with me, but it's like playing chess. I feel so big brain being a jungle main.
Yeah, 300 IQ jungle main.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Okay. Just a bunch of jockeying around, vision control, so on. I see. I would see. Okay, so I would leave that blast cone there because it does potentially help that enemy team. But see how Dragon's coming up soon. So like that blast cone is I could bounce blast cone over the wall, steal the dragon, then W over. Of course, you have your Q if you can like Q the dragon, but like as
I kind of ditched the dragon because I was sitting on black cleaver gold.
yeah, I don't know. Let's watch the fight or whatever's happening. See what you're getting into. Team gets the drag.
You want to go back? Watch from the beginning?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Let's just see what's going on here. Your team cleaned up pretty hard.
Yeah, and all I had to do was throw a Q.
Okay, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, the only Let's see. Oh, actually, let's just keep on. Like, hopefully your team is able to get at least like mid turret or some damage down to get something off the advantage you guys have.
You're right. Out of all the times that I was pushing, oh, you know what? I DC right here.
Oh, okay. Looks like your team's gonna get mid though.
I think they do get caught up in a fight while I'm going, and I think it would have made a big difference. I DC for like 30 seconds. I don't know why. It's just it doesn't happen often. Just disconnect with no lag.
Wow, that Malphite is. Okay, did that Echo teleport behind? I wasn't paying attention. How do you? How...
Teleport back there.
Yeah. Yeah. That. Yeah.
I had kick, so if I had been there, I could have saved Ezreal.
Yeah, I think your whole team should just push mid, get the mid turret, and like there was a decently sized wave pushing top, so I can see why he went top. So other like I don't know, it was a tough call. It's a tough call. It's alright either way. Damn, what a terrible time for you to disconnect.
Man, it's happened ever since I moved into my new place.
Yeah, where do you live?
I live in San Francisco, in a big place. So I share Wi-Fi with like 5 other people.
Yeah, oh, that's cool though. I live in Florida, so I'm on the other coast.
Is the weather nice?
Summer weather is really hot, afternoon really rainy, and then really hot again.
You guys got that hot rain, huh?
Yep, that's how it goes. Weather today was not good. It rained. It rained a ton.
That's League of Legends weather.
Yeah, but I had to stay at work until like almost 8 o'clock. So.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm finally back. And
Hey.
I'm recollecting. I'm still ahead of this jungle, which is cool.
Yeah. Third score.
I started pathing towards red, but I see them fighting, so I run up here.
Yeah, that's good.
Time for this Malphite to absolutely whoop these guys.
Yeah, he's pretty nutty. Oh god. And yeah, that's okay. That's good. Probably should have hit the blast cone just in case. That doesn't really matter. He's on Malphite. Ooh.
I was hoping.
Yeah. Malphite's. Oh, jeez. He still has ultimate.
Yeah. Just now, it's very.
He just. Oh my god. Wait, press tab. What does he have?
He's
Press X.
Triforce Adaptive Helm.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, he's really kicking ass.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much more advice I can give you out of this game. If it's just gonna be a bunch of like running around but it's not as much like. I mean, I can still help you with some macro stuff, but it's not as much like jungling at this point as it is just like.
The jungle pathing has already ended.
Yeah, the lane phase and like.
Mechanics that helped.
And you guys are pretty much just like playing from behind, so you like at this point in the game, you know that they're gonna set up Baron and go for it, so you just have to hope that like, you win the Baron, just make sure you keep the vision control and all that good stuff.
The game before this, I was able to steal a Baron, and it totally turned the game. But this time, I got killed by Caitlyn while I'm trying to get to it.
I save all of my clips when I do something cool. I have like at least 6 or 7 Baron steals that I've just won games off of. That's all the time.
It's amazing play.
Yeah, Lee Sin's is a really good Baron stealer too with his like Q smite. It's pretty OP.
So while we're screen sharing, can I play the game?
Yeah, you can do that.
Would you be interested in talking to me while I play one?
Yeah, we can do that.
Cool. I think that would help.
Sure. I think we should stop watching this, unless there's something you want to show me in particular. Or if you want me, I can keep giving you commentary too. It's up to you. But I'm just saying like
No, I feel you. I'm ready to move on from this one too because I think it's partly my mechanics that I lost on. There was some times where I could have like killed people and missed things and stuff.
yeah,
And the rotations, definitely the rotations.
yeah.
Like
That
hitting Ezreal mid sucked a lot.
you guys really felt like you really fell behind when you you did the dragon, then your bot lane just got killed. They took the first turret. You went for like a wraparound gank. It didn't work out. So it was just like you lost like in total time. You lost easily 4 or 5 minutes of map pressure, right? Because they knew exactly where
Yeah,
you were, and then where you were, things didn't even work out positively. So
that makes sense. Yeah, well, when they knew where I was, Malphite was fearless.
yeah. So,
Trying to make something happen here, but
and it would have been even worse if this Trundle was actually good at the game.
yeah. What do you think about me having gone Black Cleaver? Was that a mistake?
I think that's fine, but I don't think you should have made boots of mobility. I think you
You
should.
didn't make
I think you should have made.
treads?
No, I think you should have made Merc treads.
Yeah, really?
I mean, look at their team comp.
Yeah, for is it for
Malphite CC, Trundle slow CC, Echo has CC, Caitlyn has the traps in the net, Brand obviously has CC. They have an Echo, he does magic damage, Brand does a ton of magic damage, and Malphite's abilities do magic damage. So,
and up until this point, I don't have any defense strats,
yeah.
defense stats.
So, like you could have done like Merc Treads, and then instead of a Black Cleaver, you could have built like Dead Man's Plate. But I mean, I think like overall, I think Black Cleaver's a good item for him, and I don't think you being tankier in this game in particular would have necessarily meant that like you were gonna win, just because like your team also has like really good team fight like even without you tank because you have like Aurelia's ultimate, which is like pretty crazy. She has a lot of sustain, but so you have a bunch of champions on your team who are like pretty self-sustaining plus Ezreal, so it's like you don't like you're not really like no one on your team. That's what I'm saying. Is like no one on your team needs you to frontline for them. So as long as you have enough survivability to like provide your utility, then you're good to go. Like you being tanking this game, like really, I don't think would have helped as much.
Okay,
But like boots of mobility, right? They're obviously like their purpose is to help you get around the map faster, and like that helps you obviously with like objective control and like ganking. But at the point that you bought them, like lane phase was pretty much over anyway. Like I don't think you really
yeah,
got much
that's
use out of them.
right. By the time I bought them, it was much later.
Yeah, so not worth getting.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's get out of this one.
Yeah.
I end up building a gargoyle stone plate that game. Do you think?
I think stone plate's a good item. I don't think you should have bought it third. Reason being is, I mean, you know what it does, right?
Yeah, and it did help me barely survive a fight, but we still didn't win the fight.
Yeah. So it's like it really scales when you have other tanky items, and I think like I personally am like a big fan of the Dead Man's Plate, especially on the champion like Lee Sin
Lee
because
Sin is great with Dead Man's Plate.
so I would have just gone for that. Like I would have made Merc Treads for the magic resist, and then I would have gone for that. Like their AP like their magic damage dealers, so like they weren't like particularly fed. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, another alternative route build you could have done is like warrior. Then you could have picked up a mod, and then you could have picked up a dead man's, and then that would have given you like the more resistance. But like I said, Black Cleaver probably was fine. I think just like the boots of mobility was a mistake, and
More similar damage with Hex Drinker and Dead Man's Plate.
yeah, and I don't think the stone plate here like I'm not feeling it because like stone plate like because the other thing about stone plate right is because you don't have any other tanky items like you want to do like your entire combo ideally right before using stone plate because you don't want to get the damage reduction before you use like
Exactly.
so it's like so are you gonna like so like with your just warrior black clear if you like jump in there and try to use your abilities and like there's enough people around you'll get CC you'll get damage and like by the time you like actually activate it it's like well probably, it's like I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me.
No, I'm hearing you. Yeah, it definitely didn't win the game, that's for sure. But I think that. So, what would you say was my main mistakes that I could change that would have helped move that game towards a win?
Okay, so like I said, like I think that I think this is and this Korean guy Dopa. I don't know if you know who he is, but like he says like there's usually one skirmish in the early to mid game that really determines the game, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the game started off, you had a good invade, you killed that guy, took his red buff, you went mid and you ganked mid, and You know, it was a solid gank on the mid lane. Then you had another gank mid lane, didn't quite work out, and we talked about it. Probably could have played it better. Probably could have gotten the kill. Again,
Yeah.
not that would have been better for you, of course, but like not the biggest deal ever because you just put like you're still putting so much pressure on the mid lane where like Echo at that point either had to back or to like stand near his turret and farm to turret. So like I really was getting an advantage. But then when you went for the dragon, you were just off the map for a long time. Your bot lane they didn't back. Then Bard decides he's gonna int, so he dies. Ezreal tries to help him, he also dies. They take the first lane turret. Then you pad back to bot lane. Things don't work out again. Like that's the thing is like every little thing really matters. So it was really at that point where like your team was pretty much gonna like was at a huge disadvantage unless like something really occurred on the map and it didn't like and then with that play on the top side when like the Rift Herald went down like that was like you're pretty that was like Rift Herald was like a big chance for your team to like because you I would say after even after that disastrous bottom plays it was still like they were only slightly ahead like if you guys had a good team fight around the Rift and took it for yourselves you probably would have won the game. But then they got it, and that was pretty much it. Like no one on their like both teams were making mistakes, but like no one made big enough mistakes for anything like really bad to happen. And then the team just because they had the turret advantage, because they had 4 turrets, tier 2 turrets, they could control the map, and and then you disconnected. So like obviously like you couldn't even help your team like defend the mid turret. And I'm not saying if you were there like it would change much, but of course like not being there is like way different than it's like
Maybe it
so
would have.
yeah.
I think definitely I could have taken Herald by myself much earlier in the game. I was just bought so much.
Yeah, like you literally spent so much time bot lane. That's really why you lost. Because like it's more than the fact that you made 2 bad plays. It's the fact that you were like in the core of the game where jungle is just so impactful. Like levels, whatever. Like basically, yeah, you can look at time wise, you can look at levels wise, whatever you want to say. Like time period of like 115 minutes is like when junglers are just super impactful, and you spent like 4 to 5 of those minutes just like going bot lane and losing.
Dying, yeah.
Yeah. So that's really the biggest mistake. The mechanics on your mid lane game could have been better, but that's not what ultimately cost you to the game. Like, and then it's like the thing is like in the mid game, it becomes this macro crapshoot, and it's not like other team like I haven't noticed you making any blatant macro mistakes that are terrible. Like you had that one time where you died to a Caitlyn, but like that didn't lose your team anything. They didn't get a turret off of that or whatever. So it's like they didn't really punish the mistake other than get some gold. So
Okay.
yeah.
I think I should be focusing on turrets, and I should be focusing on Herald much more than.
Yeah, it was just the dragon was too early, and yeah, focus on turrets. And the one thing I'll say to you though about like because you complained about like you feel like a lot of time you don't get your camps, like you feel like you're not farming enough. Like in a game where I'm playing well, it's just natural, it just flows. Like somehow I'm like out ganking the enemy and still out farming at the same time. Like and obviously the way that works is like it takes a conscious effort. So it's like there are other tips I can give you. Obviously, like if you know the enemy top laner is like pushing up a lot, then you could just like pass to your wolves and then pass to your gromp, and then like oh okay, like top laner's pushed up, so you go around into the enemy jungle, like you scan the river on your way. There's no rewards, and you just like gank for the tribush and kill him. Like obviously, like that's ideal world, right? Because you get all your camps on your way there and you go around. But
And you get a goal.
yeah, so it's all about pathing. I could go on a rant about like wave management, how to read waves, but I don't want to like overwhelm you right now. I think like I can if you want. I can talk to you if you want. Just
I'm definitely down.
all right. Yeah. So like in some wave management stuff, right? It's like whenever multiple waves crash to a turret in a lane, like assuming that the top laners are acting appropriately, okay. So this does go for a little leap of faith, but most of the time this is the case. So whenever multiple waves crash a turret, what ends up happening is the reinforcing waves of so let's say your ally has got 2 waves pushed to the enemy turret, okay? The enemy reinforcement wave is going to get to the enemy, like get to your minions before before
They get to the tower.
right, okay. So they're already going to be hitting those minions, and then what's going to happen is as the third wave comes, because your laner has pushed already about 2 waves to the turret. When your third reinforcement wave comes, that's going to reach the turret as well. So what's going to happen is the reinforcement wave of the enemy and the turret is going to kill that third wave faster than that third wave is dying. What does that mean?
They're going to be pushing towards my team.
Yes, exactly. So if this is a perfect time to gank because if your laner knows what he's doing, and like let's say your laner is like Garen or like Fiora or someone who can like be pretty aggressive in lane, what they want to do is they want to set up a freeze near their turret. So like if they bounce the waves off of the turret, and even if your laners aren't trying to set up a freeze, at least for one wave, you know that the wave will at least be in the middle of the lane, at least in the middle. And the thing is, if it's so like if this is a perfect example. If it was your Vladimir versus this Malphite, and you know that the Vladimir had this Malphite push the turret for the past 3 minutes, then you know for a fact that there's no way Malphite has a ward in that river unless Trundle came by and put one there. And you would know if he tried. You would know that Trundle was there if he tried to gank because he's probably not going to just like run up to that river bush and put a ward in there and then not gank when Vlad's pushed up. You know, it just wouldn't make any sense. So basically, what I'm saying is, you know that it's not warded. So that's it. So you just like as soon as you see that your lane has pushed multiple waves to the turret, you can just like start like like do your wolves, do your gromp, and like oh perfect. Like at this point, like in 15 seconds from now, it should at least meet in the middle. And then it's like and then you just, there you go. Free ganks, yeah. So it's just like, and this is just something that this is like one particular instance, but the point I'm trying to convey to you here is if you're paying attention to just how the minion waves are going, then you can get some information. Right, and here's another thing: is if let's say you go for gank, or let's say your ally kills the enemy, and he pushes like a big wave to the turret, and the enemy has teleport, like you know for a fact he's going to teleport to like not miss that many minions, and that doesn't necessarily mean you could gank, but now you know that this guy doesn't have teleport for 360 seconds. So if you are able to gank this guy in the next 360 seconds and you kill him, you know he doesn't have teleport. So what can you do? Push his tower.
Okay, I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
You know, I think I might lag, dude, if I play streaming, like sharing the screen.
Mhm.
I don't know for sure. I might. Would you be down to watch me play normals instead?
Whatever you want to do. Yeah.
I think if I might be lagging.
Sure, we can watch a norm. Well, I'll watch a norm. I'll watch you play a norm. I'll just tell you my thoughts. I haven't actually done this, but I mean, obviously I've seen other coaching videos. People do this, like Tarzan or whatever. But
oh, I watched Tarzan too.
Yeah, Tarzan's. I like him. His informational stuff, like on how to actually play the game. You know, he's not. I just say he's not as educational as he comes out with like how to play Graves, how to play Nidalee, how to play Pantheon. Those I feel like those are like Pantheon for dummies kind of deal, you know? Because he'll be like, don't kill the wolves, don't kill chickens, just like scuttle control, this, that, and like it definitely helps. But I think he's good, and I really enjoy watching him just because of like, I think he's funny personality.
Yeah, he's a little bit, he's spicy.
Yeah. My favorite jungler that I was learning from while I was like really studying hard was this guy called Danyan Tioga. He's an oceanic jungler. He doesn't have like I think he has like maybe like 20K YouTube followers or something like that. So he's not like super well known, but just like he just helped me a lot. Like coming cut.
My frame rate's gonna be too low, dude. I don't know if I should play.
Yeah, it seems pretty laggy.
Yeah. I'm gonna dodge this one.
Alright. If you want, we can just watch like another replay, or let's do one more.
I would really like to improve my plays as Kindred because she seems so powerful and kind of easy.
She, in my opinion, is not easy. I think Kindred's hard. Yeah. But the thing is, like, okay, so this is what I think about Kindred. I think that like a baseline Kindred can be pretty good because they just overbuff that champion so much. And I was saying that for so long. Like every time patch notes came out, I was like, Kindred buff, okay, she's not gonna be that good. Second Kindred buff, I was like, she's gonna be pretty good. And then they came out with a third one, and I'm like, no, this is like they gave her healing, and I was like, no, that's gonna make her good. And they're like, and also like Wolf's gonna scale, and her Q's gonna give her more attack speed. I'm like, what are you doing? So if you didn't know this, I actually because my main is Udyr. Like I mean I've played a lot of games with a lot of different champions, but I main Udyr and I pretty much dual main Graves. I ban Kindred every game, so I never play against her. Yeah, because against Graves, she like early game she could actually beat Graves depending on like my health and like red buff and scenarios because if she's smart, if like a good kindred, what they do against Graves is because they could just use their W right away, or they can use the E right. Basically, they don't have to be as mindful of their abilities, but they can save their Q to dodge Graves' Q. So they just like Q and IQ, and then they have like crazy attack speed. The execute on the E's like it's just huge, and like that Wolf
It's
like
huge. It seems like it's always right on time.
yeah, and then if she uses fleet footwork plus her pretty much built-in fleet footwork, it's just and then once she gets 4 stacks, she outranges Graves. So then
If you have 4 stacks early, it's over as Kindred.
yeah, exactly. So she dumps on Graves, and then like Udyr like literally can never beat Kindred because he has to run at her, and so it's just like yeah, side banning. But yeah, if you I mean yeah, do you want to watch a Kindred game or what do you want to do?
I think I want to think if it would be. Do you think it's helpful to watch a video?
A what? A win?
Do you think it's helpful to watch a game that I won?
Um, potentially. It just depends on. I mean, like, what do you think? Do you think you made big mistakes? Like, I can help you with like jungle tracking, and I could help you with like some mechanics, some like decisions if you want to know like what I thought. Like, oh, should I have done this? Should I have done that? But if like, but here's the thing I'll say about this though, right?
Let's watch another V1.
Yeah, we can watch a win. I'll just say this about the win. A lot of times when people win a game, they don't think about it. They just like, oh, I won, great, time to move on to the next one, right? So hopefully, well, we were gonna rewatch it, so we'll be thinking about it. But like that's why it's like a loss. Is just like, most people when I say, oh, how'd your like recent games go? The first thing I hear about is how they lost, unless they got like super fed. Yeah, let's watch.
I don't remember too much about this game. This is the one where I stole Baron.
Talia is another jungler I really don't like playing against.
Yeah, I picked her up just recently.
She's pretty good.
She's cool. She's super cool. It's fun because usually I always play bruisers and tanks, you know.
Yeah.
So Kindred and Talia is a good chance to play like mages and ADCs.
Yeah. So you have a game. So what do you think the game plan should be in a game like this? We don't have to pause it, but we have like a pretty good amount of time. We have a minute to discuss.
I thought that bot would be a good gank in this game because Brand and Braum have CC and hella damage. Fid has no escapes, so I thought that would be a good one.
Yep, I would agree with that.
I also like to gank Pike here because he's such a bad laner. I think that I could like swing it for Olaf. I think that my ganks are pretty good here, especially after 6 for bot.
Yeah. So are you gonna start red this game or you start blue here? Are you going for this? You going for the steal? The cheese steal? I'm really not a fan of. I'm not really a fan of the cheese steal. I mean, it looks like you're doing it, but I'm just gonna say it in general. I'm not really a fan of the cheese steal unless you're a farm oriented jungler, because what ends up happening if you like cheese steal, their buff is like you end up doing like their buff, and then you go to your scuttle, and then you take your buff, and then you like do chickens, and then you're like then you go to yeah exactly. It takes you off the map to do the game. That's why I never do it. Unless, like I said, a farm oriented. If I'm Siobhan or like Kane or something, I'll like cheese it. But if I'm like yeah, if I was playing Lee Sin, I would never cheese. Not worth.
Okay. It's so often free in this game, so or in like lower elos. So
Yeah, it is.
I get tempted to do it. So I feel good that then I should do my own.
Yeah. Because like, it's Lee Sin. It's like we just got discussed. Like you're off the map. Like this is more fine. Like taking your buff first and then going in for bait. Reason being though is like you had vision on you had vision on her wolf, so you know where she is right now. So this was this.
She went around. That's why I tried to
Oh, okay.
blue because she went around avoiding it, so I thought it was gonna be free.
Oh, did she blast cone over?
Yeah, she let's see how she did it.
She didn't even blast cone over. Interesting.
No, she just went like right around it so perfectly. I don't think they saw me.
Wait, she went. Wow. Well, today I learned something too.
Yeah, so I go for it thinking it's free, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm thinking she's doing scuttle right now or something.
Okay. So let's see what happened here. Okay. So you dipped. Yeah, you dipped in. All right. Oh. Wait. Let's watch you. Let's watch you. Okay, that was smooth. Ooh.
Yeah, I think that flash was too much. That was fine.
Did you have your Q coming back? Yeah, I don't think you need the flash. You probably could just like Q scuttled and got out of there. It was good smite.
No wards, so no ward jumps, which is what I was afraid of.
Did she smited that? Yeah. Yeah, it's probably one thing I just want to say is when you were like at the blue buff and you threw your Q out and then you like blast coned over, I probably wouldn't have done that just because you knew you're cool. You're like you know like by blast coning over, you knew that you're. Let's pause for a second. Let's pause for a second. Let's just stay your craft, right? So when you threw your Q over the wall and it didn't hit, then if she was still there, then she knows that you're there, right? Which was the scenario. And then you use the blast cone to go over the wall when your Q still is on cooldown. So what I think you should have done is you should have walked around the bush, and then so it's two parted, right? If you walked around the bush, one is like if she's not there, she's not there. But then what the thing is like then you'll see that she's on her gromp, and then you'll be already closer to her to close the gap, and she'll have less time to react to you than if you blast coned over the wall. The other thing is like if she happens to be at wolves, it's kind of the same scenario. So I think that would have been a better play. Let's keep watching this though. Yeah, fortunately it didn't hear. Let's keep watching it because I just want to see like how this. Okay, so see, because I thought this was risky, but she was like really respecting you. Because like just pause one more time, pause real quick before we watch this next part. Pause. So she was. The thing is like, okay. So here's the thing. When you go into invade, right, you should always be like aware of like what's going on in the map. And then like once you engage with the other person, like everyone's gonna tunnel vision, right? Because you have to like worry about fighting her and like managing her abilities and all this, which is fine. That's okay to tunnel. Like obviously if you can help not tunnel visioning, you must be like some sort of like multitasking god. But the thing is like as soon as she backed up and you start backing away, that like this it needs to become instinctual for you to always check lanes. Like as soon as you see disengage and you're invading, your first thought should be where the fuck are their laners? And then, so like, as soon as you like disengage there, you can see like, okay, my mid laner shoved Malphite to turret, and both of your top laners didn't react. So it's like, great. There's a 0% chance here of you getting collapsed because you know exactly where everyone is, and in fact, Jari's coming to help you. And so the reason why I just want to say that I thought the blue play could have been potentially dangerous is two reasons. One is because you're taking damage from the blue buff, right? So she probably could have harassed you while you were doing the blue buff, and then like definitely like with the blue buff attacking you and her attacking you, like she would obviously have the damage advantage. And then the thing is like at that point, like let's just say like one of the laners like reacted late. It's like just because you took so much, like even if you got the blue buff, you just took so much damage from her in the blue buff that like it's possible a laner could have killed you. But again, given that you did have enough time to like look at the lanes, it definitely worked out. And she has nothing comparable to your Q smite, so like you were obviously going to win that smite war. And then I don't think you had to flash out of there, but all good. So let's just in this next part, my thoughts already were like you just use your smite, and so it's like it's likely to believe that she still has her smite, right? Oh, yeah, you have your second smite here already.
No, it's got 10 seconds, 15 seconds left.
Okay, yeah. So let's see what happens. Let's see how she gets it.
If I had managed this a little bit better, I could have stopped it from
Going the other way. Correct.
And we would have had it.
Correct. Yep. Exactly. So, and you also could have just like, yeah, exactly. You hit it on the head. That was a big deal in my opinion. I mean, like just because like, and the reason why like.
No, maybe not.
Yeah, you would have. Well, you had two, but no, yeah, you wouldn't. Okay, hold on. What the fuck? All right, hold on. Go back again. There's a lot of shit happening. Go back again.
I think that Olaf just gets killed here. I don't know if Talia even helps. Oh yeah.
He does. So, okay. So probably what here's what I'd say. Let's go back again. Let's go back again. Just so like because like I want to see she when she leaves. Okay. Okay. Just pause. We don't have to go back. Just pause. That's fine. Going back's fine too. So when she leaves, you wanted to ping your top laner. Like you probably should have pinged. You should have been pinging during this encounter. Especially like after you like took her blue buff and you like I mean, while you're out of blue, like, you should have been pinging, so your laners are aware that you're invading and you like there's interaction going on. So if you like intended, like what you clearly decided you were going to take her blue buff because you were attacking it. So you should have been pinging help, to your laners to like make them aware. And then when she came back and she took the scuttle from you and she walked back into her jungle, like you should have just been spam pinging your top laner because like
Right.
yeah, because basically like one is like there's a lot of action going on. Yeah. That's simplest short explanation. A lot of fighting going on top lane. He hasn't warded. Talia's either going to go to her Gromp or she's going to go top lane. It was a very easy free gank for her. If you had spam pinged that Talia was going top, you would have just backed up. But all right, let's keep watching.
I think Olaf definitely could have swung this.
Yeah. So now he goes to ward. So he drops the ward. He sees.
I don't see him getting ganked.
Yeah. So this is something that like this happens a lot. This happens a lot in like gold even. This happens even in low platinum. People place the ward, but then they don't use it. Like, oh, I'm safe. I put a ward here, and then it's like they just don't look. Like that Olaf easily could have lived there. He wasn't even engaged with the Pyke when she walked over the ward. He could have backed up. So yeah. So basically, all you could.
She could have dodged both the stun and the thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yikes.
My Talia mechanics there. I forgot that if I go over this thing, I'm gonna get hurt.
Yeah, you took so much damage. Oh my god. You took so much damage.
Check it out. When this happened, I was like, oh no.
I think that's the most damage I've ever seen that ability do. Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh my! That's like 3 of them.
That sucks so bad. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. And the thing about that situation also is even if you hadn't taken all that damage, I'm not even sure that would have worked out for you 100. Like that definitely, I'll say this, that would not have worked out for you 100%. Maybe you would have killed her, but then Pyke definitely would have killed you. Because he has that stupid gray health, so like even when he was trading with Olaf, he healed a lot of health back, and he has obviously has a stun and a pull and all the crazy shit. So with like their combined CC, it just wasn't a good call.
Yeah.
But okay, Riot made the early death timers like so forgiving. It's actually insane.
Yeah, really. Sometimes I kill someone in their jungle and they get.
Yeah, you don't have enough time to evade them. I hate it. It makes me so mad. Especially as do Darren Graves because they're like, oh, I killed their jungler. I'm going in.
Yeah, you need that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back 15 seconds because this could be a good example. Let's just so you're doing that buff. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you had no chance to yeah, okay, it's fine. You had no chance to name this guy.
And they both flash on some weird stuff. I don't know why that happened.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, you didn't have yeah, okay. Nothing you could have done about that. Okay, so one thing that's important, right, is like you now know that bot lane doesn't have their flash up, right? Both so like you should be making a mental note of this. Like that's gonna be a very free lane to gank the next 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and it's the lane that I was hoping to gank the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, you walked right over that ward. Did you know she was here?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
okay.
saw her path to the direction with the minions at turret.
Okay, yeah, smart then. She assumed that you didn't know you were coming. Oh, she definitely wouldn't have stood there.
Yeah, which is a little silly because I guess you just didn't see the fog war. Like,
Yeah, I would agree that was pretty silly.
oh, then she DCs. I didn't realize that.
Like, here's something I want to point out too. Also, just pause the game real quick. Just like because I haven't really been tracking. I haven't been talking to you too much about tracking. One of the things that and one of the reasons being in particularly these last 2 games is because you've been so proactive on the map that especially up to this point where like tracking is like track so like easy and free tracking tip is like just see where all the lanes are starting, right? So if bot lane gets to if bot lane's like missing for a while and you see the enemy top lane goes to top lane immediately, then you know that the enemy jungler started bot side,
Yeah.
So that's an easy tracking tool. Most people know that. And then so the one tracking tip I would give to you in this game, and I think it may came true, probably came true. But I just forgot to point out at the time is like so after like you made that like whole play on the top side of the map, like the Talia really had like two options at that point, right? And this is like she could back, but I don't think, but I don't, she could back, and I wasn't aware of like what her mana cost situation was. But after she killed you, she got her blue buff back, right? So she has her blue up. So I would assume that after she had killed you, that she was gonna go and like, so she would have two options, right? Backing could have been a good option, especially if she had a lot of gold, which she probably did. The second option was she was gonna clear out the top side of her jungle and then back, right? Those two things probably would have been made the most amount of sense. Probably her best case scenario would be to back. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out to you is because, all right, she backs, and you know that all of her camps are up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know that the bottom lane, but you both know that the bot lane scuttle is still up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably
Right.
you took
After
it,
the first
right?
after the first fight.
Yeah, you took it. Yeah, so like like she killed you, and then what I'm saying is like after she had killed you, probably her best option in that scenario, if she had like at least about 950 gold, was to back, because then she could just buy boots and her scammer shirts or whatever she's gonna get, and then she could go wherever. Because she had a gold advantage at that point, and this is something else I'll get into later. But so that's probably her best option. If she didn't explore that option, then she would have cleared out her top jungle. But the thing is, if she did do the first option, which is backing, then even if she didn't back, but like if she didn't back, it changes things. The reason is if she did back right away, you both know that the bot lane scuttle is still up, right? So if she did back, you could logically deduce that like she's gonna head to the bot side, right? Because all of her camps are up, and the bot lane scuttle's there, and she probably has a goal advantage on you because she got the kill.
Yeah.
So you could deduce that she would go there based off my tracking mind. That's what I would assume that she's going there. If she did the greedy thing where she like after killing you went to clear her top side, which a lot of people would do, then she's giving you the bottom scuttle for free because she just wouldn't get there in time. And
I see. Yeah.
is it a big deal that she gives you the bottom scuttle for free so she can clear top jungle? No, not necessarily, because the first scuttle is like not huge. She can get those two camps and she has a blue buff, whatever. Maybe getting those two camps might enable her to get an amp tome also, like whatever, like all whatever it can be. But and the reason why I mentioned earlier that the best option for her was to back is because of the way she would track you, right? Because
Yeah.
after she killed
She
you,
knows I'm going to my bottom side.
exactly. So if she was a good jungler, she would back with her gold advantage. She would get her, blue smite and boots or whatever else she's gonna get. She would go immediately to the bot lane scuttle because if you go there, she will kill you or she'll to get you off it. She'll take the scuttle and all while doing this, she's on the same side of the map from you, so she's protecting her bot side because like she'll get the scuttle crab vision. She can like drop a ward, whatever else, clear bot side camp. So she's like there to respond. That's what a good jungler should be doing. So yeah, that's just the thing on tracking. I didn't talk about it much in the game before, so I just wanted you to like just understand like my thoughts on that and
Yeah.
the fact that
Especially on Lee Sin.
yeah, and the fact that you're being proactive in this game, like in both your games, though, is really good. Like I like I've had some people they're like yeah I'm like a Kane main and like I need some help because like my plan right now is I farm for like 10 minutes and then like try to transform. I'm like I'm a new deer main. I try to get first blood like 3 minutes in the game, so.
Mm.
So yeah, so your early game so far like definitely been pretty good. I mean, we talked about how you could play stuff better, but yeah, just wanted to point those things out about tracking. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, that was good. Yeah, she disconnected. Yeah, so she's like, she can't do
Oh yeah.
shit.
So no wonder.
Yeah,
I guess after she killed me, she cleared her Gromp,
yeah,
and then
then
she
back.
ganked mid, right?
Oh yeah, was that what she did?
Yeah, because we took blue in the exchange, and then I remember that's how I killed her. I killed her after her gank on Ari.
Wait, press tab. Press tab. Okay, she ganked mid. You're right. She killed. Yeah, and they got the kill. That's right. That's right. Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that was a trade off for her. That's what's going to happen, because if she knew what I told you about like how she could attract you and shut you down from bot lane, she gave that up so she could get mid lane to kill. So
Yeah.
it's not wasn't necessarily a bad play for her, but it was definitely a trade off. And a lot of times when I'm playing solo queue, I like I would have just backed, and I would have like here's another thing, right? Like she might not have decided she was in the gank mid until she did Gromp. So yeah, I would have been gone. I wouldn't have ever ganked mid. You knew she was disconnected at this point, though, right?
No, at this point, I didn't. I hadn't realized.
Okay, Jar's coming. That's nice. Yeah.
Ooh, that damage.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so here's my opinion. Okay, let's pause real quick. So you had a so in order to pull off this invade properly, you would have wanted obviously to consider a few things, right? The first one is what's the state of mid lane, and Malphite backed, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah.
And you knew your Arya was coming, so that was cool. The you didn't know where top lane was. He was missing, right? Because you didn't like see him back.
He was playing back because he had just died.
Yeah, the top laner, right? And but the thing is, so the thing is like the reason why this okay, so like conclusion, you shouldn't have fought. Reasons, you're top lane backed. So you should. So what could you have done to like prevent this? One, just not fight, right? Like you didn't have to fight. You didn't have to fight that. You could have W to R and you both could have walked out of there. You could have kicked really early. Or you didn't have your kicks. I guess you're just like level 5 or whatever. But like still, like you could just W. You could have gotten out of there. So you like going into that invade, you like needed to consider that fact. So it was just not. It was just not. It wasn't a well planned invade. So you could have lived if you just like realized it earlier. Communicate with your Olaf, spam ping, help me, I'm going in the base. Like usually, like if I'm like planning well in advance, like because it looks like to me in your mind, you were like, as you were doing red buff, you're like, I'm gonna go to this girl with blue, because so you should have as soon as you were like done doing red buff and you clicked the path to blue, you should have been like, I'm going to invader blue, and then like put the help flag. That's what I would have done.
If Olaf had been there, we would have killed them both.
I I I would agree that the fight. I mean, who would have? I don't know exactly how it played out, but it definitely would have been. It definitely would have been way better. But as soon as he didn't come, it should have been out of there. So that's what I'm saying. Like the only way he would have came was to like really communicate with him, because you've already been. So the thing is like you already know this guy doesn't have good map awareness, because he dropped a ward earlier, right? And then like Tilia still ganked and killed him anyway, walking over a ward. So you know this guy's not paying any attention.
That's something that I should definitely do. I don't communicate very much with my team.
Yeah. And that's the other thing about like I still invade a lot, but I've been invading less than I used to do before the jungle changes, because like the reason is like laners know that like scuttle crab is like really important and like helping your jungler out, but not all laners. And Olaf, like one of those guys, doesn't pay attention. So
Yeah.
and Pike is what all Pike mains are amazing about map awareness, because all they want to do is go down there and R somebody.
I think I definitely should have gone bot here. There was a scuttle up, and they still don't have flash.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just said it for me. 100%, you should have gone to the bot side. And the reasons that you mentioned were all very valid. So the thing is, though, like after you died, you gave up the scuttle crab for sure. If like Talia was like, because you just couldn't get there in time.
I would have been on top of her when she ganked bot.
Yeah, well, she just killed mid, and now she's ganking bot lane. Yep, for sure. Yeah, you definitely made a pretty big mistake by going top again. And the other thing was their top laner like backed or whatever. Like he like, but when you went to go clear cogs, like you didn't have like a gank opportunity or anything. So let's see.
This is a failed gank too.
Yeah, so Pike's not. So like when you were saying at the beginning of the game, like, oh, I want to like gank Pike. Like I don't want to gank Pike. I think Pike's one of the most hard champions to gank, because this dude's got his visibility that makes him super fast. He has an AOE, so his like his dash away is also a stun, so you can't follow it. He has a slow and a pull. Like it's just, and like he's gonna heal like, yeah. So if he didn't get hit by that axe, he would have healed up for all that freaking health. Like it was crazy. So and then yeah, again, so again like. So here's the problem, right? Like in the past, like let's say like what 4 minutes of the game, what have you done? You took your red buff, you went to blue, tried to fight and died, went back to top lane, you cleared your wolves and you killed your raptors and your krugs, and then you ganked top lane and traded to kill.
Yeah.
That's what you've done. That's been your contribution. You haven't helped your team like really push objectives, and like you haven't really like helped your team gain an advantage. Meanwhile, Talia, she got the bottom lane scuttle crab. She killed mid lane and she killed bot lane. And like we discussed, right? Like there was no flash. So like just logistically speaking, like it's like okay, my top camps are up, my bot lane camps are up, but my bot lane's being pushed and they have no flash, and scuttle crabs on the bot side. So yeah, that would have been an obvious like go to. And then the other thing, right, is you can like again like here's the tracking thing, right? Like when you died at her blue buff, right? Like you already knew that she cleared out her top side, right? Because like you were invading it, so you knew like after you died that she was heading to the bot side of the map. So like you should have told your team like, hey, like until you have bot side of the map. You know, like let's say like 25 seconds, like 20 to 25 seconds after you died at her blue, that's when you should have told your bot like Otilia's bot. Like there's really nowhere else she could be, right? Like other she was like the only other place she could have been was like the top side river waiting to gank mid. That's it.
Hmm.
So you knew exactly where she was.
Yeah.
Wait, so go back because I was just ranting, so I wasn't paying attention. You mid laner died again, right? So
Yeah, I think she just gets 1v1 by Malphite here.
go back again. Go back again. Because she's dead right now. Go back in.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's see. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, this is like after the worst of it has already happened.
Yeah. Okay, so she like went to go like okay. Yeah,
What's she doing?
she went to go like deep ward or something, or maybe she looked to like gank top. I don't know. But she like walked over ward, so yeah, that was.
It's done. It's done. No ult on her, no flash.
Later, yeah, okay, nothing. Yeah, yeah, I mean, you know, not much. Like, no, obviously she just got soloed, so it's whatever. Yeah, this is kind of a scary situation because now you see her at her ward. So like you see her at her ward, like it's like Malphite could help with this invade because your Ari's dead. Plus Pike's pushing top, so it's kind of a scary situation here. This would be a situation. Yeah, you're doing well by playing cautious right now. You should, as you should be, because she's leaving. I don't know what the fuck she's doing. She's wasting a lot of time. Okay, Talia. She's reacting to us.
If I had landed that Q, this is another one. I
Yeah.
totally messed up these Qs here.
Yeah. Wait, go back. Let's watch again. Let's see like just to see like what we could have done.
Cursor over the champion, I think.
Well, you hit him with the slow. Right here, you go like that. So something I don't know if you know this, but Pike's dash or whatever, his like invisible thing, it has like decreased returns on the his increased movement speed. So he gets slower as the end of it like goes on.
Oh, I did not.
Yeah, it's a good tip. Yeah, that would have been a tough Q to hit either way. I mean, yeah, you could have. I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know if you could have necessarily played it better.
I think so.
All right, let's go back. Let's do it then. Let's fully analyze. Okay, go back. Let's pause it beforehand. Let's see what you have. You have flash, your R, or whatever. Let's see. So you have your kick up, right? That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Actually, you have your kick up. You have right there. He W kick. Okay. Oh, you missed. Yeah. Okay, that was bad. Yeah, that was bad. That right. Yeah, that was guaranteed. Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay, for sure. Okay.
Especially because you see just how low he got. If I had those auto attacks in that Q, he would have died.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For sure. Okay. Yeah. That was very simple. Yeah. If you landed that Q, he would have died. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Those are the most frustrating ones, dude.
Yeah. Lee Sin problems. Yeah. All right. So I mean, at this point, you don't have to pause it, but just in general, like we can very much deduce that you not deduce, but very much know that you spent way too much time on the top of the map.
Yeah.
And you're focusing.
That was a good gank, but I didn't gank it often.
Yeah. Okay, that's lucky trade. That's good. Another thing is right. This is another reason. So I just want to say like two things. One, like I don't think Pike's an easy lane to gank. Two reasons, right? Especially in this, so I'll say especially two reasons in this game. One, in general, Pike's just not a strong laner. He doesn't have good all in, so he needs to take like short trades and like heal up. So he kind of gets fucked by bruisers. Olaf is like an amazingly strong early game champion. This dude will like 1v1 anybody, especially like level 1, level 2. So you know that. So basically, another thing is Olaf doesn't scale very well. So I would just leave Olaf to his own devices. because I know Olaf's going to beat the shit out of him, and I know Olaf doesn't scale. So like, I don't need to get gold onto Olaf. Like, I know he's going to win his lane with or without me, assuming the enemy doesn't camp him, right? But like, that's the thing. If Talia is camping the top lane, if Talia's camping an Olaf just to get like a Pike fed, like Pike's also not a very good scaling champion. I would 100% trade having having your bot lane fed and having your top lane useless, and having the opposite be true for them, right? Like if they have a fed Pike, but you have a freaking fed Brand, okay, like you win that, yeah. And not to mention, there's two people bot lane as opposed to top. So yeah, I think that's like I would say that's the biggest mistake of the game was like when you have, I mean, other than like a lot of the bad early stuff that happened, like the dying to Talia and all that stuff, like your biggest like decision making, I would say, like I guess it was when you path to the top side instead of going back to bot when they had both their flashes down. That definitely would have been free kills. And the other thing is like, especially once Brahms post 6, this dude just flash ult. He knocks him up. Brand gets like the freest EWQ of his life, and then obviously his ultimate too. Like yeah, you just like there's just so much kill. Like, and then and they're laning against Fiddlesticks and Lucian. Like it's just
Yeah, that's an easy game.
yeah. So I think a better game plan for you going into this would have definitely helped. I'm not saying that invade early was necessarily bad, but then after that you should be like, all right, bot lane's getting the love. Because Talia is pretty weak early, especially if you catch her out. So I think going aggressive against her is fine. Like if I ever do find myself in a situation where I'm like Udyr versus Talia, that's really my only option is to try to kill her early. If I just like power farm and try to avoid her, she's just gonna out farm me, outmaneuver me, and then she beats me. But anyway, at least you love drag. At least you're object oriented. At least you're objective oriented when it comes to the dragons.
I hope that those things will contribute to the team win.
Yeah, they do. Did you see the Lee Sin changes coming in the next patch?
Lucian changes?
No, the Lee Sin.
Oh no, what they changing?
They're making Lee Sin into like an assassin. So like his
Really?
yeah, you know how like his Q, how it does 8% of their missing health. Now instead of that, it's gonna do up to 50% additional damage based off their missing health.
Oh, so it's a buff.
Yeah, it's a buff. Like his Q's gonna do like once you have like warrior, your Q's gonna be doing like just buttloads of damage.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't have to practice in champ.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna do like I have to look. I haven't looked at the numbers, so I definitely suggest like watching whatever people talk about it. But so it might be slightly weaker earlier since you don't have that 8% missing health, and it's like 50% stronger instead. But yeah, definitely gonna scale into the game way better. So he's gonna be freaking crazy.
Cool.
Yeah. That's one of the funny things about the just Lee Sin over the course of like this patch is like of them like buffing him to like compensate for the ward change. Like they gave his ultimate so much freaking damage. Crazy.
Yeah, that sucked when they took away the ward machine.
Yeah, but part of me thinks like I don't. He's definitely not better because the early game got like kind of nerfed by that. But the fact that his ultimate does 500 damage at max rank and he like starts his cooldowns after using his first like ability, that's
Awesome.
yeah, he scales like now he's not one of those champions where you feel useless late game. Dang. It seems like at least Ari's making the best of these very like pretty bad early lane phase. I said at least Ari's kind of making like pretty good use of the fact that she had a pretty weak early lane phase. Trading with somebody who has a lead on you is always worth it. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, obviously that kick was bad, but it worked out. So yeah, I've kind of stopped paying attention for a little bit because it was kind of just ranting, but seems like so your top laner ended up winning, and so inevitable because Pike just cannot deal with Olaf like that. Honestly, I think Olaf could probably always 1v1. I don't think at any point in the game Pike will actually ever outscale Olaf, which is funny because Olaf doesn't scale very well. But like, I just don't see how Pike can match him 1v1.
Yeah, me neither.
And it's really good. It's really nice that your Olaf rotated mid to help get this turret down. So even though this guy has like otherwise no map awareness. He's really helping your team. This is kind of what I was talking about, about like getting that first turret, like how it could just like create chaos. Because at this point in the game, right, enemy team is yeah, they're down in gold, but I think that's mostly because of the two turret lead you have.
Yeah, I mean they have more kills.
Yeah, so good.
Pike is still top, and Olaf is doing other stuff.
Yeah, and Pike pushes really slow, and that dude's like definitely not going to chunk your turret. Olaf's going to have enough time probably to get up there and save it. Yeah, for sure. So, and yeah, it's good that you helped your bot lane and you helped him get the turret. So that's pretty huge. I guess Talia, like I said, I kind of stopped paying attention for a little bit, but she definitely dropped the ball. I don't know what she's been doing. She didn't react to your ganks mid or to your gank bot lane. Sorry. So I don't know if she went on a farm tirade or she disconnected again or what, but she got cleared and stopped top from taking the turret, and she didn't help her bot lane. So
Okay, yeah, I definitely want to take your advice about turrets and about tracking, about my choice of which lanes to camp. I definitely want to take that into the next game and see if that makes a big difference.
yeah, I think it will.
You want to call it quits for now?
Sure, yeah.
Let's get out of here. Dude, I think that if I make sure to take the first tower, be careful about my red lanes versus my dragons, I think my decision making is where I need to improve on.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot. That's a lot of what League is. There's the mechanical aspects. And that's most things we talked about. But mostly being a jungler is it's just really it's just making good decisions. And that's the thing. I think Lee Sin's a good champion for sure. And if you seem to really like him, so I'll definitely stick with him. But like when you play like someone like Warwick, he's like not mechanically demanding like Lee Sin is. It's just like it's primarily just decision making instead of that.
Warwick games are free, man, but it can get real boring playing Warwick all the time.
Yeah. What's your name, by the way?
Alan,
Alan. I'm Jordan.
it's good to meet you, man.
Yeah, you too.
If you ever want to duo, dude, let's play some. I would love to play against people with a higher MMR than me, just to see like how much better they are. Like a trial by fire.
I mean, we could. Do you want to play right now? Because I'm trying to play right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I'm gonna boot you off of my screen. My bad.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.